Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Young here, and today I'm back in another Fortnite video. And in today's video, I wanted to be talking about why I personally will never use the linear settings. I'm going to show you guys all the reasons in which you should use it and the reasons why you shouldn't. And it'll kind of give you a more clear representation of why I don't use the linear settings and why maybe you guys should. And before we get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway for Fortnite Chapter 2. If you guys want to be entered in this giveaway, all you guys have to do is to drop a like on this video, subscribe to my channel, make sure you guys turn on my post notifications so you guys can get notified for every single new video, and as well, leave a comment down below of your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account, and you guys will be automatically entered into the giveaway. And real quick, if you guys want to support me as a creator in the item shop, my code is Young Humor. So if you guys want to support me, definitely put in my code. It helps me out a ton. I definitely appreciate it. And alright guys, let's get right to the video. Alright, so here in this video, I wanted to be explaining to you guys why I will personally never use the linear settings, and why you guys should, or maybe why you guys shouldn't, and kind of give you the reasons on why you would use it and the reasons why you wouldn't. And that really would explain exactly why I personally will never use the linear settings. So here, of course, you have the three different aim assist. You have the legacy, which is the old settings. Is the one I just have on right here. And this is the one I normally play on. And then you have in the new settings, once you turn it on, you have exponential, or you do have linear. And on exponential, you still have small stick movements, meaning that if you move just a little bit right to left, it's very accurate to do so. And if you move really far right to left, it's a lot more quick. So it's a little bit smaller and quicker when you move left to right. But when you get the longer distances, then it does get a little bit quicker. But on linear, all speeds are exactly the same. And this could be a big problem, or it could be really good depending on your play style, how you play, and kind of what you do in Fortnite. And that's why I wanted to explain this video, make it really, really clear on exactly why I don't use linear and why some of you guys maybe should or shouldn't. So here are my settings. I'm basically just adjusting it to something that I would have in this. If I end up did switching, which I wouldn't, like I said, I'll explain a little bit more in this video. But if I were to, then I would definitely have a little bit different of a sensitivity. I probably would lower my editing. I'd probably keep my editing the same. I'd probably lower my building a little bit. Really depends on, because when you do switch to linear, you have to either lower your sensitivity, increase your dead zones, and I'll get into exactly why in a second. But for linear, like I said, it's raw stick input, meaning that it's the same speed. If you hit it a little bit to the left, all the way to the left, it doesn't matter. It's always the same speed every single place. And a really good positive for this, it's very, very consistent. Because once you start to understand how this works, it's going to be a lot easier to predict certain movements because everything's going to be the exact same speed. So that could be a very good plus to this. But for the first reason, as you guys I'm demonstrating here, is the aim assist. The aim assist is just not as good. The legacy aim assist is just better overall, because on the legacy you can L2 spam. You have auto rotation as far as the L2 goes, because if you aim near the player, it will rotate over, and that's very, very good and crucial to have. And as well, when you move left to right, it's a lot stickier when you are on the legacy, on the old settings. And on top of that, you have the small stick movement, which is a lot easier to aim with, especially at distance when you are aiming at that player. So as you can see on these new settings, you don't have any sort of, auto lock, anything like that. So when you L2 spam, you're not going to lock onto the other player. But if you already are aiming down your sights, then you will have a slowdown, and that's the aim assist that you're going to have when you are on legacy or an exponential. But the old aim assist is just far better. I don't really know how you can try to debate that. I honestly think the legacy set aim assist is way better. Now, some people still switch to linear for a few reasons that I'll get into it, but as far as aim assist, the legacy aim assist is just far better in every single category. You have it from further range. You also have a bigger slowdown, and on top of that, you can also lock onto the player when you aim next to them. So all in all, it's way, way better to have the legacy in terms of aim assist. And also, another major drawback you might have when you are using the linear aiming is it's going to be very, very difficult to constantly track players and hit players from a distance. It's much, much more difficult because you are limited on how far you can go back, because aim assist doesn't work after certain after after a certain amount back, and you do have a little bit more leeway when it comes to legacy. You can go back a little bit further, but you are a little bit limited on range. And on top of that, it's just very hard. And every person that I've ever talked to, when they talk about linear, they do like linear, but also hitting those long range AR shots is a big problem. They're just not able to aim as consistent as they want to, and it's a lot more difficult for those players. So, because when it comes to the different settings you have in this game as far as aim assist, controller, all that kind of good stuff, I think it all really determines on your playstyle, what you're looking to try to do in Fortnite, and kind of all the above. And when it comes to linear, it's a lot more consistent. So as far as building, close box fights, it's probably going to be your best bet. So if you're the type of player to like to free build, go for a lot of those crazy creative builds. I'm not really that type of player. I like to play public matches, but if you're the type of player that enjoys creative building, things like that, I think linear will be the best option for you. It's really easy to build because everything's very consistent, and it's just all in all the best option to go if you are a free builder. And also if you play a lot of customs, zone war, stuff like that, those small, you're building a lot. You're also taking a lot of close shots because, like I said, a major drawback was the range in which you're shooting at players. And if you're in zone wars and turtle wars, stuff like that, and creative, of course you don't really have to worry about too much when it comes to shooting at players from range. You really don't have to worry about that at all. So if you are a player that likes to free build a lot, to plays a lot of zone wars, turtle wars, stuff like that, if you play a lot of creative, you feel like, I think linear will probably be the best bet, and for a lot of those reasons. And for me, as I said earlier, I play a lot of public matches, so solos, I'll play arena from time to time. I'm trying to play in these few cash cups that are going to come out, but I play a lot of pubs. And for pubs, for me, I feel like aiming is the most important thing, especially for myself that I play on controller. Aiming is going to be the most important thing to focus on, and since the aim assist is the best on legacy, that's why I currently use it, because hitting these long range shots are incredibly easy. I can lock onto the player, L2 spam a little bit, lock back on. It's really just a lot easier to line up my shots, hit them from ranges and close range as well when it comes to shotgun, SMG, all that kind of good stuff. So that's why I still use the legacy or the old settings, whichever one you'd want to call it. That's why I still use those settings, because I mainly focus for myself. I focus on public matches, and for me, aiming is going to be the number one priority. Building, of course, is going to be something that's important as well, but as far as the number one priority on top of that list, of course, for me, it is going to be aiming as a number one. But if you are someone who likes to use the new settings but isn't sure if linear or exponential is going to be the best, personally, if I switched, I would use exponential, because it gives you more precision when it comes to ranges, because when you are doing those small stick movements, same with legacy, you do have a much slower, it's much slower when you make small movements, and also is much greater when you move very far left to right, which personally I like, because when I aim down my sights, I'm trying to shoot another player, I need it to be as accurate as possible. I don't want to have an aim that's all over the place, and it's not too bad if you're talking about shotgun fights. That's why linear could be very, very helpful with those close range fights. But as far as those long range shots, medium range shots, I think exponential is going to be your best bet. It's going to be a lot stronger. So if I did use the new settings, I personally would use exponential, because I do focus a lot on aiming. But if you like building and close range fights for the majority of your fights, linear can be very good. I'm not saying you can't hit long range shots at all with linear, but it is going to be a lot more difficult. So it is something you have to consider if you do end up switching to that setting. It's just going to be a little bit harder to hit your shots from ranges and everything like that. So you do have to consider that when you are switching. And personally, when you have the three settings, I prefer the old settings, the legacy settings, because for me, the aim assist is the strongest, it's the best, and for me, that's just exactly what I'm looking for when it comes to public matches. I'm trying to have the best aim possible, and that's why I still use the old settings as opposed to the new settings, linear and exponential. So that's why, hope this video cleared up a little bit on why I don't use linear personally, but some of you guys, it might actually be beneficial and a lot better for you guys to use. And with that being said, that's all for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you guys liked it, make sure you guys do drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, turn on my post notifications so you guys are notified for every single new video. And alright guys, I'll see you next video.